I'm pissed. Okay, I am so pissed right now. Not from the episode, not like directly from the episode, but let me just breeze through it really quick because I gotta tell you, it's just hilarious to me. Right before this video came out, right before the episode came out, earlier today, I was doing another video about Dragon Ball Super. I wanted to do a video about the remaining members of the Tournament of Power, because I figured, we had like 80 fighters, and now it's whittled down to like 18. I figured, okay, this would be a good time. Let's go through how many people are left, what they can do, what we've seen them do so far, and what I think is going to happen to them in the future, right? And so I did this whole video. It was like 25 minutes long. It was uploading. It was like almost completely uploaded when this episode dropped. Dragon Ball Super episode 119, it drops, and I'm thinking to myself, oh god, if anybody gets eliminated from this from the tournament in this episode, that kind of ruins the whole video, because the whole video was about here are the people that are left, and if I put that video out, it's going to upload right as the episode drops. And so I'm watching the episode, and I'm hoping, I have my fingers crossed, I'm like, please, don't have anybody get knocked off this tournament, because then I have to, that kind of screws up my whole video. And wouldn't you know it, kids, not one, not two, not three, not four, but five of the remaining 18 fighters. Whole video is scrapped now. I'm not kidding. Look at this thumbnail. Look at the thumbnail I did. 2 of the freaking 4 people in this thumbnail are not even in the freaking tournament anymore. Oh, God. Oh, and something else that pissed me off was that in the video, I was talking about Universe 3 and the remaining fighters of Universe 3, the 3 robots and Paparoni, the mad scientist dude with the staff. And in the video, I was thinking, ooh, maybe the 3 robots are going to do like a Voltron combiner thing, and Paparoni's going to jump in and be like the controller of this giant robot. Well, wouldn't you know it? In the preview for the next episode, that's what's going to happen. So I kind of want to do a call that shit dance, but you didn't actually see me calling the shit. So for all you know, I'm just making this up right now, but I'm serious. I have to scrap the whole video. I have to redo the whole thing because there's no, and another member from Team Universe 7 got knocked out too. So this is Dragon Ball Super episode 119. And I'll tell you what though, this episode flew by. It really did. Not just like in the sense of like there was a lot of people getting knocked off and everything like that, but just the sense there was like very little tension. Like a member of Team Universe 7 got knocked out, and it was not like when Master Roshi got knocked off, or like Krillin or even Tien. Out of the 3 that have gotten knocked out so far, Tien was the one that seemed to kind of like, all right, it just kind of happened. But this episode, it really did feel like just, okay, hurry up and get through it, and no real big dramatic moment or anything like that. The episode primarily focuses on Universe 4. That's the one we're going after here, and as you can probably imagine, 3 of the 5 people that get knocked off are from Universe 4, and that means the universe is done for. So they just kind of like blitzed right through Universe 4. You have a few remaining guys. You have Shansta, who is the little blue dude that can like propel himself with gas, and then you have the 2 invisible people, Damon and Gamasaurus, and they were previously unknown. We haven't seen them around, which is smart. You'd figure if you have the ability to be invisible, you'd be hiding in the tournament, waiting until it gets thinned down, and then that's when you make your move. Well, there's only like 13 minutes left in the tournament, so then they decided to make their move. We start off with Kato Spera, I think his name is, Kato Pesra, that's it. And he's the one that's fighting against Vegeta, and he goes into like his ultra form, like he's Kamen Rider, whatever, that's pretty cool. He has this really neat moment where he uses Final Mission, and then Vegeta uses Final Flash, and Vegeta has a moment where he's like, that's how you do a real final move. And he almost gets knocked off the side, but he manages to hold on right on the edge, and that's when he gets like his legs swept, and he falls, and he's the first person in this episode to get knocked off. And then Vegeta almost gets knocked off as well, and then Gohan almost gets knocked off as well. So there's clearly there's some invisible fuckery going on here. There's a member of Universe 4. Remember, Universe 4 is all about trickery. Like there was that lady that Master Roshi was fighting with the talismans, and there was that sexy lady. Like they use underhanded tactics. That's what they do. It's kind of their thing. Kitella is their god of destruction. So he's a rat. He's a rat bastard, and they all play dirty. You see what they're doing for here? So you're thinking, okay, what's going on here? Now, I don't know about you, but I was looking on the wiki to see exactly, because there was a few information on these invisible fighters that we haven't seen yet, and they were shown to both be sort of like cicada monsters, like insects that were like inverted colors. Like Damon was this green insect, and Gamasaurus was this purple one, but they were like the same on the wiki, so I thought they might have been brothers or partners or something like that. From what we see in this episode, we don't get to see Gamasaurus. Gamasaurus, as far as we're concerned, is like a default invisible entity and just never has like a visible form, and this is what he looks like. It is silhouette, and as you can see, he clearly does not look like a cicada. He's got a tail, he's got like a hair. He's obviously probably most likely based off a chameleon, if I was going to say anything. We don't get to see his physical form, but I'm going to say chameleon. So that's an issue there with like just the wiki being, not, up to speed or accurate with that. Damon does appear like he does, but Damon has even appeared. He's appeared in like the title before, like Limit Break X Survivor. If you look around, you could see Damon off to the side. But it's something weird where it's an invisible enemy and they just play it like it's cliche as hell, man. Everybody's freaking out like, how can I fight an opponent I can't see it? And they can't sense its energy either, but that's what I mean. It's more than that. They're acting like, oh, it's invisible, so you can't fight it. 18 is getting freaking rushed by the thing, and she's like, even if... It's so weird because it's like she's being attacked invisibly, and then Krillin shouts over to her, it's an invisible enemy, and 18's like, it's invisible? Like, no shit? Like, you're being attacked, can't you feel the fist hitting you? Like, you can't determine, like... Come on, 18, you're smarter than this. Like, it's invisible. And so they figure, but if it's invisible, how can I fight it? Like, I don't know. Like, there has to be, come on, you're smarter than that. You can do something. And then Master Roshi comes up with the idea, which is it's an interesting callback to when they were fighting against Baba's crew way back in Dragon Ball. There was an interesting callback to that, when Roshi was like, an invisible enemy, huh? Gohan, try spilling your blood from your nose on it, because it's like, Roshi was fighting, well, not Roshi, but Yamcha was fighting against the Invisible Man in Baba's crew, and they couldn't see him, and so Yamcha started paying attention to the sound his footsteps were making, but then Baba started singing, so it covered that up. So Krillin comes up with the idea to bring Bulma over and literally just pull down Bulma's top in front of Roshi, and the blood just spews like a freaking fire hose out of his nose and lands on the Invisible Man and covers him. I think in the English version, like the American release, they had to say it was tomato juice or something, but that's an interesting callback. Now, obviously, Gohan is not going to, is like, oh, it's kind of hard to be aroused around here, but I don't have, where's Videl at, there's straight up porn on this other monitor right now, so I'm like, it's hard to be aroused, and I turn oh right, I have porn up right now. Okay, well, it's not hard for me. Anyway, Gohan, though, he comes up with a clever idea. He's like, okay, instead of the blood thing, we'll use dust. So that's what I mean, though. It's so cliche. It's like, we're fighting against an invisible opponent. How are we going to defeat it? I know. Let's use dust to cover it so we see where it is. So cliche, so paint by numbers. It's what they do. I thought they were going to do something clever with it. I thought they were going to come up with something like, it's not actual invisibility, it's like phasing in and out of like dimensions or something. Like, I thought it was going to be something like that. But it isn't. It's just paint by numbers invisibility. They cover it with dust. Piccolo beats the ever-loving shit out of it, and they knock Gamasaurus off the side. Then comes up Shansta, the little blue dude, who has like a... no, not him. He has like an invisibility, not an invisibility, sorry. He has like an illusion kind of world he can create, where he has these rings that pop out from his cheeks, and they cover like Goku as well as like Gohan and Piccolo and 17 and 18 in this like weird dimension where everything's red, and they can create illusions from the previous members of the Tournament of Power that got knocked off, like Bajiel from Universe 9 is there. A few fighters from Universe 9 is there. And while they're just illusions, they can't really physically hurt you, you then have Damura going around and actually hitting them. So it's kind of a clever, like a combination move, where it's like, ghostly Baziel goes to kick Piccolo, and then at that exact moment, Damura shows in. and hits Piccolo's arm, and so it gives the illusion that Damura was the one that, that Baggio was the one that hit him, this illusion. And so for a second there, I'm thinking, oh, he can create solid illusions. That's kind of an interesting ability. That's kind of a little bit of a spin on something kind of cliche. No, it's something just as cliche. He can create illusions. So how do they get rid of it? They find where the person is creating the illusions, and Piccolo pot shots him off right off the side. Once again, very little tension. It's like invisible, dust, done. Illusions, find the person that's throwing the illusions, done. And then we finally get, though, to the last fighter of Universe 4, Damura, who turns out to be literally just he's a bug man. And that's something cool, because I think in the opening it looked like he was normal sized. And that's the reason. I don't think he can turn invisible. It's just the fact he's so tiny that no one can see him. And so Piccolo is trying energy sensing, and he's like, well, this one, he might be invisible physically, but I can still sense his energy. So he starts shooting at places where he is, but he's not hitting him because he's so tiny. So that was probably the most clever thing out of this entire episode. You know, like, it wasn't invisibility, it was just a tiny little insect person. That's all it was. So that's kind of, that was interesting, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Right after they figure out the trick, it then proceeds with 17 and then Goku teaming up. It can't fly, it doesn't have wings. So I guess calling it a cicada monster alien is not really a good idea. But anyway, it has to jump in order to get places. So Goku just pounds the ground a few times to screw up its momentum, and then 17 takes some shots at it. Eventually 17 ends up trapping it in his like energy sphere, like he can actually propel that as an attack, traps it in an energy ball, and then kicks the damn thing out of the arena. This, of course, results in all of the members of Universe 4 being disqualified, and then, of course, results in their erasure. Universe 4 is gone, and it's not, once again, not a dramatic moment whatsoever. It's not like, the emotional music does not play. It's more of like a foreboding music, and Kitella goes out basically like having a panic attack, like, no, this can't be right. This can't be right. I'm not losing. I'll take you all out with me. And then he just zips. Everybody else zips, no problem. Even the Angel's not like, nothing really. So that's it. And I forgot the big moment of the episode. Piccolo got knocked off too. Damura manages to knock him off in his like volley of attacks, and not a dramatic moment. That's why I didn't really remember it all too well. You know, it's not a moment that seems like Gohan is like, Piccolo-san, no. It's nothing like that. Goku doesn't turn around like, Piccolo. Oh, there's the porn again. But no, it's nothing like that. So it really does breeze through this episode. They just want to get it done as quickly as possible. And I'll tell you what, guys, I think next episode is going to be the exact same thing, but with Universe 3. Same exact thing. It's going to be Universe 3 doing the Voltron Mecha Combiner robot. Paparoni jumps in to be like the controller of it. It gives them some problems for a little bit. I'm sure it's going to have all these different abilities and shoots out different attacks. Maybe there's like a capture net, an electrical beam, fire, whatever. It can probably move. It probably has like jet boosters. It can move. It can fly. It's going to give them some problems. The only thing is, considering that we're using Team Universe 3, and they're the most technologically advanced universe, and they got robots and cyborgs and all that nonsense, it might be like 18 and 17 go up against this thing, and since Piccolo got knocked off in this episode, maybe 17 and 18 are going to get knocked off in the next episode, but it's just going to be quick. It's going to, like, you know, they're going to jump on the thing and take it out together. And I mean, if that's the case, I really think Universe 3 is going to be done next episode. But if that's the case, then we can move on to the real match here. We can have Goku and Jiren. We can have Vegeta and Topo. We can have Dispo and Frieza. Then, of course, you still have Gohan in there somewhere, but I'm sure he can find something to do. Maybe I would say Gohan would verse Dispo, and maybe Frieza would stay in the background. Maybe that would be more appropriate, because Frieza, a lot is riding on it for Frieza. If he fails, and if the whole Universe 7 fails, he doesn't have to go back to Hell, which is a good thing. But if he succeeds, and if he plays his cards right, he might have a shot at a god, which is something that Frieza wants, to try to get out of Hell permanently. But still, I'm assuming Frieza, he definitely doesn't want to go back to Hell. So if he can take that erasure status, he would probably accept it, like, okay, I'm going to get erased, fine, at least I don't have to go back there. But in the best case scenario, of course, he wants to get free of Hell and also still be able to do his thing. So maybe Frieza's going to stay back a little bit. Maybe it'll be Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan that'll take on the Pride Troopers remaining. But as for next episode, we're going to get done with Universe 3 and then move on to the Universe 11, Universe 7 rivalry there. Aside from that, that's really all there was. I was really hoping there'd be more to talk about. I was really kind of looking forward to the two invisible members of Universe 4. Technically, I guess only one invisible member at the end of the day. Nothing was really done with it. It was really kind of boring and cliche, and the most interesting thing was Damara, the bug dude. But even then, as soon as they figured out he's a bug, they pretty much dispatch him very easily, because 17 can all of a sudden trap people in his barrier. And that's all you got. And Piccolo got knocked out, but okay. All right. I mean, we're getting down in the climax here. You only have 12 minutes left, guys. 12 minutes, and there's only 13 fighters remaining. So, yeah. That's the case. What are you going to do? Thanks for watching, everybody. This will be Tekking101 signing out. Later. Go look at that porn now.